Hey guys, Shani back with another process video. Today is day 9 of the 31 days of Spooky Scraps series. Today is actually not the 9th, today is the 11th, I think. I'm a little bit behind. This weekend I was just out of it, so I didn't get to it, so I'm sorry. But today we're doing day 9. You'll get day 9 and 10 today, and then hopefully 11 and 12 tomorrow. And then we should be back on track. So this one is a nice little starburst pattern. And oh, my little spiel before anything else. Down in the in the video description below, there will be 2 links. One is for the free download if you want to download and print the 31 Days of Spooky Scraps little booklet. It's a free download. Just make sure you print it as a 4x6 if you do that. And then if you don't want to print it or don't have a printer, don't want to deal with it, whatever, and you still want a copy, I have a physical copy for sale in my Etsy shop. So that's the other link that's down in the video description. So what I've done is I've just pulled out all these papers. The blue one, I was just going to mention real quick, the blue one's not one I would have chosen for this layout just in general. But it was a very prominent color in that inspiration photo. So I thought it'd be kind of perfect for this. And I don't have cats, and we just don't really do cats in general. So I figured this would be kind of a good layout to throw that one in there. Just because it's probably not going to be used really otherwise. But what I've done is I just very loosely cut those pieces into like wedge kind of shapes, and there was no exact anything. It was just guessing. And then I'm going through and I'm adding tear tape all over this page. If I wasn't doing this on a video, I probably would have added tear tape to each individual sheet of paper, but that just felt like a lot, and this seemed like it would go a little quicker. So I just did it that way. Real quick, before I start actually sticking these guys down, I'm going to use a ruler and mark my center just kind of loosely so I know where to work from, but it's not necessary because I'm going to cover that whole center up, will be covered up. So it's not like you'll see it or anything. So I'm just going to start adding these pieces and all pointing towards that center. Like I said before, it doesn't really matter because that center will get covered up. So this very center doesn't matter. It's more about that starburst effect around the edge. And I am overlapping these ever so slightly just to keep that nice wedge shape. They're not butted right up against each other because I didn't cut them like into an exact point, if that makes sense. So, and then I'm just going to keep going around. I'm trying to make sure, like, space-wise, that everything's kind of spaced out evenly. Not the wedges of the starburst, but like the patterns and the colors of the paper are spread out throughout the background, if that makes sense. And then I don't know what I was going to say. There was something I was going to say, but I don't know what it was. But yeah, I just work my way all the way around, and I actually end up with like very little left over, if any. I think I had ended up with like almost the exact amount that I needed for this, just accidentally. I mean, I didn't measure out or anything, but just accidentally. Another thing is I have some of those papers you saw were 6x6, a couple of those. Most of them were 6x8, but a couple were 6x6 or shorter. And so whenever I'm going in with those pieces, I'm trying to make sure I put them on the sides where I know that they're not going to hang off the edge wrong. And then I messed that one up over there. Like that. That's what I meant, is where it wasn't hanging off the edge right. But what was I saying? Oh, making sure that you use those 6x6 those 6x6 sheets, strips. Ugh, my brain. I haven't voiceovered in weeks because I've been doing live videos, so I'm a little not with it, apparently. I mean, you guys know I'm never with it, so you shouldn't be surprised. But anyways, yeah, just keeping the shorter pieces to the like middle sections where it doesn't need as long as strips, and then the other pieces to the corners. And then a couple of those, I'm just tearing the middle part out, and I'm going to go in and use my Nuvo liquid adhesive and add a little bit to just add some extra stuck down right there in the middle of those ends. See, so perfect. I had the exact number, and that was totally accidental. For the most part, I cut 3 strips of each paper, but there was like a couple that only had 2 because it was already like cut into kind of a wedge strip, but I didn't want to waste it, so I just cut it in half so that I'd have 2. But I'm just going around trimming the edges all the way, and I mean, I'm sure you could totally find a way to use all these scraps, but I will just chunk them. I know. I'm a hoarder, so I get it. And any other time I might have, if they were favorites, I probably would have. So anyways, I'm just going in, and these ones that are kind of sticking up that don't have adhesive or don't have enough adhesive, I'm just adding a little bit of Nuvo liquid glue, and kind of the tips of most of these middles aren't really stuck down really well, but we're going to cover them up, so it's not like a huge deal. I'm just trying to add a little bit where these aren't stuck down really well, and then what we stick down in the middle will help secure it as well. So I have my photos. I've already attached them and added fun foam to the backing, and I'm right now going to pull out my title, and I'm going to do this Halloween, that big giant Halloween. And but before that, I'm going to add some paper layers behind the photos. Not necessarily that it needs it. If I wasn't worried about covering that weird center point up, I probably wouldn't have done it, honestly. But I just figured adding those extra layers, it'll hide that center point, and it will add that extra stability with the adhesive that'll be on the back of it as well. So I'm just adding some quick layers behind the photo, and they're not anything super special or anything like that. But I am going to go ahead and ink the edges real quick just to help. Whenever I ink the edges, I like to use gray because it gives it just enough of, it almost looks like a shadow, like as if it had dimension behind it, so you could just see the difference between the layers a little easier. And I think that will help separate those layers from that starburst on the background, because it is a little overwhelming, like all those patterns and colors and everything. So these photos were from when I worked at Hobby Lobby, and they would do crazy challenges and stuff all the time. But this one, each team got like however many Post-its. We got a certain number and colors and everything. And and then we got to decorate our manager's door, our team lead's door. And well, their offices were glassed in, so it's like 2 panels of glass plus the door. So anyway, so we got to decorate it with Post-its. So this entire scene is made entirely of only Post-its. So even the pumpkins, you can see in one of the photos a little better than the other that they're 3-dimensional. And we were the crafters. Like, when I worked for Hobby Lobby, I was a craft designer. We made the projects that were in the like the free inspiration sheets that you get like at the store that you can take home or whatever. We crafted those projects, and then we had photographers and stylists and everything that would take the photos and do all of that. So we kind of had to bring our A game because we literally were crafters. So we figured out a way to make 3D pumpkins with Post-it notes. So, anyway, so that's what the whole story for that is. And then I pulled out these tiny tile font from Freckled Fawn. I have a really hard time. I love the tiny tile fonts, and I buy them and hoard them and never use them. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to actually use them. So I pulled them out for this one, that yellow, and I think it helps pull out the yellow of the moon that's on the door that we did. And then I pulled out the Citrus Twist little foam alphas. These are sorry, my throat's like all froggy all of a sudden. They're like the perfect color blue to go with that cat paper that I used in the background. So, and then I love that in their fonts, I wish they had more, but in their fonts like this, that they have the little stars as extras, because they were the perfect blue to sprinkle around the layout. So I added a couple of those around, or there's 4 in a package. I think I added all 4 just because there would just be one left. And yeah, anyways, so I pulled out a couple, what are they called? Epoxy flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. And I used the cats because we used cats on the background, and I mean, again, we're not big cat people, so there's not gonna be like a layout I need those for later or anything. So use them while you can, kind of thing. The funny part I just now realized, though, is that I used cats on the background, and it's our scene that we did was Snoopy and Charlie Brown, and he's a dog. We used cats. Anyways, it's fine. No big deal. So I'm pulling out some wood veneer pieces, and these are some of the jack-o'-lanterns. And I just thought those would be cute to add because we did emphasize the pumpkins on that by making them 3D. And then I'm just going to sprinkle those around in those little cluster kind of areas. And then I'll add just a few more little embellishments. The big hitter for this layout is obviously the background. So that took more finagling and planning and everything. And then the rest of it just is like sprinkling on the added little extra bits at the end just to finish it off. So, oh, and then I've got those little epoxy, what are those called? Candy corn epoxy sprinkles from my shop. And then these little they're little resin, like cabochon stars. And I had a couple yellow ones in there. I really wished I had 3, but I didn't. Those, I believe, are restocked in the shop. I mean, like I have more of them, and I think I added them back to the shop. I'll double check. But they should be restocked in the shop. And then, yeah, so that's about it for this layout. I didn't do much more. I will probably go in and do just a tiny bit of journaling on white strips and add it down there at the bottom. And then I'm pulling out a Nuvo drops. I'm trying to be more aware and conscious of using my Nuvo drops. I love them, and I obviously hoard them like everything else in my life. And so I need to be conscious of actually using them, pulling them out. So trying to do that. So I'm just adding a few drops to each little area, and that's it for this layout. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are following along and or playing along, please be sure to tag me if you share on social media anywhere, or use the hashtag 31 days of spooky scraps, please, because I would love to see your layouts. This video is going up this morning, and then I'll have another one coming up later today to finish off, and then that will be it for that. And then after that, we'll be caught up, is what I mean. Tomorrow we'll be caught up. Yeah, because I missed 2 days. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Oh, and I forgot, there is new stuff up in the shop, Christmas goodies and Thanksgiving. So lots of snarky. So have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Bye.